You asked and we listened. When we did our big video on Mumbai, Delhi and Bengaluru, our comment section was flooded. Hundreds of you wanted to know, what about Kolkata? What about Chennai? What about Hyderabad? So here it is. I'm Lavanya and this is the Climate Brief. Welcome to the bonus episode of India's Public Transport series. Today we're looking at the public transport scorecard for 3 more cities that you demanded, into a system that carries millions but rarely makes national headlines. Kolkata, Hyderabad and Chennai. We'll start with Kolkata. If Mumbai locals are Bollywood stars, Kolkata's Suburban Rail is that veteran actor who never left the stage. Massive, reliable, underappreciated. With over 1,500 kilometers of track, 458 stations, it is actually almost 3 times as large as the Mumbai Suburban Railway network. In fact, it is the largest suburban railway network in India. It's not the busiest though. That honor still belongs to Mumbai. But at 30 lakh riders a day, it's still very significant and one of the busiest in the world. From Barrackpore to Kalyani, Howrah to Sialdah, millions depend on this lifeline every single day. There are 5 main lines and 19 branch lines. Trains run almost 24 hours from 3 a.m. to 2 a.m. and tickets start at just ₹5. The Indian Railways UTS on mobile app lets you buy suburban tickets on your phone, even go paperless with QR code. But adoption is patchy. Poor internet at stations, digital literacy gaps and habit mean most commuters still queue up at counters for paper slips. The city also gave India its first metro in 1984, a full 18 years before the Delhi metro started its first train. The Kolkata metro has grown to around 60 kilometers across 4 lines. Ridership averages 6 lakh daily, spiking higher during festive season. In 2024, it made history with India's first underwater metro tunnel under the Hooghly River. Expansions are ongoing and by late 2025, the East-West corridor will finally link Sialdah to Esplanade, boosting connectivity even more. And finally, the buses. The state currently runs about 640 buses, up from around 550 last year, after a government push to restore service. These serve busy corridors like Newtown, Garyahat and Esplanade with apps like Yapni Satni, now offering live tracking and digital tickets. But with a population of almost 16 million, it gets us to about 0.04 buses per 1,000 people. This is supplemented by around 3,000 private buses that run in the city. But even then, that's simply not enough. And many commuters fall back on autos, cabs and other modes for short trips. Now, if you look at affordability side by side, Suburban Rail, 5 rupees to 20 rupees. That's about 0.2 to 0.5 rupees per kilometer. Metro, 5 rupees to 30 rupees or around 0.8 to 2 rupees per kilometer. For bus, ordinary routes start at 7 rupees, AC buses higher, around 0.5 to 1 rupee per kilometer. But there is a minor problem. None of these systems actually talk to each other. No single app, no common smart card. Want to go from the suburbs to the metro to a bus? 3 separate tickets, 3 separate payments. So here is Kolkata's scorecard. The takeaway, Kolkata's public transport is legendary, but it still needs to go a long way to become seamless. Now, let's head down south to Chennai. If Kolkata is defined by its century-old railways, Chennai is trying to write a very different story. One built on technology, planning and digital integration with suburban rail, buses and now a rising metro. All of them playing their part. Let's start with the suburban rail. Chennai Suburban Railway is the 3rd busiest in India after Mumbai and Kolkata. The local trains carry about 12 lakh passengers daily, and with the recent coach upgrade, they have room for about 4 lakh more passengers every day. Chennai also has the MRTS, which was the first elevated railway line in India, with a line that runs from Chennai Beach to Velachery. It is integrated with the suburban railway and caters to about 1 to 2 lakh passengers every day. So altogether, this 1,211 kilometer network serves about 18 lakh passengers every day. Fares are among the cheapest in India. Up to 20 kilometers, it's 5 rupees. 21 to 45 kilometers is 10 rupees. 46 to 70 kilometers is 15 rupees. And 71 to 100 kilometers is 20 rupees. That works out to roughly 0.2 rupees to 0.25 rupees per kilometer on average. Then there's the Chennai Metro. Young compared to the suburban rail, but quickly gaining momentum. With about 54 kilometers of operational lines, the metro now carries 3.3 to 3.4 lakh daily riders. Minimum fare is 10 rupees for rides up to 2 kilometers and caps out at 50 rupees for rides above 12 kilometers. That is roughly around 5 rupees per kilometer to 3.3 rupees per kilometer. A little expensive as compared to the suburban trains or buses. But here is Chennai's real workhorse, the bus system. Operated by the Metropolitan Transport Corporation, it still carries 30 to 35 lakh riders daily. Over 3,200 buses running 800 plus routes covering the entire metropolitan region. For a population of 12.3 million, that's around 0.26 buses per 1,000 people, which is still below the Mahua standards of 0.6. However, fares are cheap. With a 5 rupee minimum and 24 rupees for longer routes, it comes to about 0.6 to 1 rupee per kilometer. However, the fleet is aging and the costs are high. That is why Chennai is moving towards electric buses, run under a gross cost contract model where private operators own and maintain them, while MTC pays per kilometer. Cleaner, cheaper, more sustainable. Integration is where Chennai really stands out. At big hubs like Central and Egmore, the metro connects directly to Suburban and MRTS line. Metro stations also have bus bays and auto stands. But the real leap is coming with CUMTA, or the Chennai Unified Metropolitan Transport Authority app, launching later this year. It promises a single QR code for your entire trip. Metro, bus, auto, in one. If it works as planned, it could be a game changer, making Chennai India's first city to truly unify public transport digitally. Last mile? Shared autos are everywhere, dominating metro and suburban hubs. Cycle rickshaws and ride-hailing apps fill the gaps, while metro feeder buses remain underused. So here is Chennai's scoreboard. A city with a strong suburban railway, a growing metro, and one of the largest bus fleets in India. Now let's head a little up to Hyderabad. Let's start with the Hyderabad Metro. With 69 kilometers of track across 3 corridors, it is the city's modern backbone. Daily ridership now averages around 4.5 to 5 lakh passengers, crossing 1.2 crore rides a month. But in May 2025, fares were hiked for the first time. Minimum up from 10 rupees to 11 rupees and maximum up to 69 rupees. That's an average fare of about 2.75 rupees per kilometer to 5.5 rupees per kilometer. Then, there is the MRTS Suburban Rail. The 90-kilometer network once carried 1.5 lakh daily riders in the pre-COVID era. But now its numbers have collapsed to under 50,000. Services have been cut, and without digital integration or updates, it risks fading away altogether. But here's where Hyderabad rewrote the script. The TSRTC buses. In 2023, the state launched the Mahalakshmi scheme, making bus rides free for women, girls, and transgender passengers. Ridership skyrocketed from 45 lakh trips a day to over 60 lakhs. Women now make up nearly 2/3 of all passengers. Today, the TSRTC operates around 3,100 buses, but with a population of around 11 million, that's just about 0.3 buses per 1,000 people. That's not meeting the Mahua benchmark. And studies show Hyderabad actually needs closer to 6,000. That's a shortfall of nearly 2,900 buses. So while buses are carrying more people than ever, the fleet is stretched thin and overcrowding remains a daily reality. Integration is still a work in progress. Hyderabad is piloting T-Mass, a common mobility card for metros and buses. Last mile is stronger than most Indian cities with autos, cabs, bike taxis, and even e-vehicles integrated through partnerships with private operators. So here's Hyderabad's scoreboard. A metro trying to balance finances, a suburban rail losing ground, and a bus network that has roared back to life, powered by policy much more than infrastructure. Three cities, three very different stories. Together, they remind us that India's public transport future won't be written by metros alone. Buses, suburban rail, digital integration, and policy all play decisive roles. So, what do you think? Which of these cities has cracked the code and which one still has the longest journey ahead? Tell us in the comments. And if you're new here, this video exists because our community asked for it. So hit subscribe and join us for more stories on how our cities move, breathe, and survive climate change.